and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, good morning, grade 12 Viewers.
Good morning
Good
po.
morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am.
Yes, good
Good morning.
morning. Okay, so yes, it's another day for us to learn about Philippine politics and the governance. So I hope you learned a lot from the previous lesson about the concept of power. And to continue, let's see how this power works for the people. So let's get it on. Let me just present our slides. So for a moment. Okay, there. So what can you observe on your screen?
The screen changes its color po.
Oh, thank you, Mary Joy. So yes, the screen changes its color, and the word change has something to do with our topic for today. So we have a saying that the only permanent thing in this world is change. Do you agree?
Yes
Ma'am.
po.
Yes, yes, Yeni?
Yes, ma'am, I do believe in change, and
Mm-hmm.
we've been through a lot of changes, and this change continues every day.
Yes, that's correct. And we are affected by it. And in order to survive, we have to adopt ourselves to these changes. Okay? So at this moment, I want to know your views or observations on the changes you see in our society. Now, I want you to go to Mentimeter at www.menti.com and enter the code 56263785. Then you will enter there a word or a concept that comes into your mind based on your observed changes in the society. Also, in the Mentimeter, I can verify today's class attendance and the number of our active participants. Okay, thank you. So let's take a look at our Mentimeter. Okay, we have four entries. We have K to 12, hybrid bus, K-pop, MRT. So please keep going. Okay, five students now who casted their entries. Levi's, Guess, SNR, McDonald's, smartphones. All right, very good. Okay, and it seems like most of you answered K to 12 and K-pop. I think this is the most observed changes nowadays, right? So what's this? Doing your K to 12 modules while staying late for your K-drama. So why do you think this happens? Changing the educational curriculum, our preference in watching a film or series, our preference in clothing and others. Why do you think there are changes like this?
Ma'am,
Yes, Jordaline.
as time goes by, there are developments that we see, and my classmate mentioned a while ago that change continues every day. So every day there is development.
Yes, that's right. So we see developments every day. And are we affected by it?
Ma'am.
Yes, Joshua.
Yes, ma'am. These
Mm-hmm.
developments are for those people and for the whole world. And these developments are supported by the government or the state. And obviously, this is the result of globalization.
Wow, very good. So based on your answer, what do you think will be our topic for today? Anyone?
Allow me to answer, ma'am.
Yes, Jamie?
The topic for today would probably about state, nation, and globalization.
That's right. So for today, we will discuss state, nation, and globalization. And from the previous lesson, we actually went through the concept of state and nation. So we will talk about some other details about it as we also discuss globalization. Okay. So before we proceed, I'd like to present to you our most essential learning competency and objectives. So for the MELC, we have to analyze the relationships between nations and states in the context of globalizations. Then the objectives are first, define state, a nation, and globalization. Second, make an economic map of your state. And third, state the importance of nation states to globalization by interpreting a literary video. Okay, so before we move to the first activity, let's go back to what Joshua said about globalization. So, what is globalization and what is its relation to the state? So, as you can see in the picture, the earth is like tumbling down above the flags, controlled by the pillars. So, what can you say about globalization?
Ma'am?
Yes, Noel?
Okay, ma'am. For me, and based on the picture, globalization is a process of development for the nation or the people organized by the state. So the earth there symbolizes the exchange of goods and the other services among the nations as reflected by the flags controlled or organized by the states. Or from that picture, those are the pillars.
All right, so very good. So we can simply say that globalization is the process of interaction and integration among nation or the people and states or the governments worldwide. So it speeds up movements and exchanges all over the planet. So the exchanges could be of human beings, goods and services, capital, technologies, or cultural practices. Now, we mentioned here the words nation and state. So may I ask, what are these again and how are they different from one another?
Ma'am,
Yes, Jamie.
a nation is a nation is a large group of people connected by history, culture, or another commonality. And a state is a territory with the constitution or institutions of populations of people.
Very good. So the nation is a cultural unit or defined in cultural terms. So it talks about the people or the common identity among its people. So you mentioned there that people should be connected by history, culture, and other commonalities. So we have examples there like Palestinian, Tibetans. So while the state there is a political unit or defined in political or administrative terms. Okay, a self-governing political entity with clear boundaries. So we have examples like Singapore, Hong Kong, and Vatican City. Okay. So actually, Vatican City is inside Italy. Okay, it is an enclave. Enclave is the geopolitical term for that. Vatican City gained autonomy from Italy, so Vatican City has now its own people, territory, and sovereignty or power. And these three are actually the elements of a state. So going back to the previous slide, so let's see. How about the term Filipinos? Is it a nation or a state?
Nation po.
Yes, thank you, Mary Joy. Yes, correct. So it is a nation. Okay. Uh, what about its counterpart if we talk about the state?
For the state, it is
Yes,
the
Mochi. Mm-hmm. Yes, Mochi.
for the state po is the Philippines.
Okay, it is the Philippines. Okay, very good. So that's the difference between nation and state. And the combination of those two is actually termed as nation state or nation states. So meaning it is a state with its own nation. It could be interchangeably used with the word country. So examples are Japan, France, Germany, and of course, again, the Philippines. So a nation to become a state should be controlled by a governing power in a specific territory. Understood?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So now I have this question. Do you think it is possible for a nation to have no state? What do you think?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
No po.
Oh,
No po.
okay, so you're confused now. So let's take a look at this. Do you know that there are nations that have no state? Yes, they are called stateless nations. Stateless nation is an ethnic group or nation that does not possess its own state, is not the majority population in any nation state. The term stateless implies that a group should have such a state or country. According to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees or UNHCR, statelessness can occur for several reasons, including discrimination against particular ethnic or religious groups, or on the basis of gender, the emergence of new states and transfers of territory between existing states, and gaps in nationality laws. One good example are the Kurds that exist in areas of Turkey, Iran, and Iraq. They call their place Kurdistan. It is not a country but a geocultural territory in Western Asia wherein Kurdish people form a prominent majority population, and the Kurdish culture, languages, and national identity have historically been based. And that's our trivia about stateless nation. Back to the lesson. Okay, so that's the stateless nation. And another very good example, and this is very timely, is about the Palestinians. So have you heard of what's happening on Israel right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Nova?
Yes po, ma'am. Israel and Palestine are on war which is rooted
Mm-hmm.
on their very long time history about their territory po. The Palestinians, which are mostly Arabs, are stateless and they are now located between Africa and Asia.
Correct. Okay, so let's stay updated on that world happening. Okay, so don't forget the concepts of state, nation, nation state, and stateless nation. All right. So for our first activity, since we already know the meaning of state, let's map our own state. Okay, but this time we will look and plot on the map the economic resources of our country, the Philippines, based on the following guide questions. So first, what are the known economic resources in the Philippines? Second, where are those resources located in our country? And third, are the resources available for exports? Okay, so on your Jamboard, based on the questions given a while ago, each group will be going to think and write inside the boxes the four places in our state or country together with its product or a service available for export or international trading. So this will serve as our data. And after that, you will plot it on the map using the Padlet app. So the link is already posted also in our chat box to help us in visualizing the existence of these resources and their roles in the development of our country. Any questions? Are there any
None po.
questions?
None,
Okay, thank
ma'am.
you very much. So in the Padlet, you can also add text and pictures if you want. Just make sure you calculated the right latitude and the longitude to where you're going to pin your place. Okay, so you have a minute to do this, and later each group will present. So time starts now. Okay, I'm sharing now the Jamboard. Okay, so group three is almost done. Okay, group two, one left, only one box left. Okay, group one already started. So they're done with the first box and the second box. Group three is done. Also, group two is done. So you may now start doing your map. okay, in the Padlet. So let's take a look at our Padlet. Okay, I can see one pin there. Okay, oh, there's one in Luzon. So, okay, for Clark, we have, I think this is furniture. Okay, so let's rate it with 5 stars. See there, very good. Okay, La Union, we have coffee. So complete, let's rate it 5 stars. Very good. So let's visit Visayas. We have an entry in, I think this is Iloilo. Yan. Okay, wow. Shrimp. In Cebu, we have, oh, there's no picture yet. Okay, in Mindanao, we have Cagayan de Oro. Okay, I think this is Coco. Okay, so may I ask the group one to please present their work?
So, okay. On Luzon,
Okay.
we have on La Union, no, we have on La Union coffee, and at Tugigaraw, we have rubber. On Clark, we have furnitures, and Tagaytay have electronics.
Okay, thank you very much. Group two.
And for group 2, we have here Iloilo shrimp, in Cebu, dried mangoes, in Tacloban, natural health products, and in Cebu, IPBPN.
Thank you, group two. How about group three?
For group three, we have for group three Mindanao, we have General Santos.
Mm-hmm.
The product is trussel fish, and next is Butuan. The product is palm oil. Next is Sambuanga. The product is mangoes, and the last one is CDO. The product is cacao.
Or the cocoa. Okay, very good. Group three. Very good. Group one, group two, and group three. Okay, thank you very much. So, what do you think, class, is the reason we have this kind of productions, and what will be the effect of this to us?
Um,
Yes, Jamie?
I can say the reason is that with the modern process of producing goods, globalization gave not only us, but other countries as well. And this helps us in the development of our country, not only in the economic aspect, if we take a look at different facets of it, but as a whole or holistically.
Okay, yes, definitely. So that's good. So we are not just talking about economic globalization, but all types of globalization. It could also be cultural, political, technological, etc. But did you know that there are other effects of globalization aside from giving developments? Okay, so we will try to look at it on the second activity. Okay. Now, in our second activity, we will analyze a literary video about the effects of globalization. So then later, you will list the advantages and disadvantages of globalization collaboratively in our Google Sheet. And you will present it in class based on the following guide questions. Number one, is globalization good or bad? Number two, what are the advantages and disadvantages of globalization? And number three, what do you think the nation states can do to minimize the negative effects of globalization? Okay, so let's watch the video first.
Globalisasyon, isang salita na kasing tanda ng ating mundo, isang salita na kay lawak ang nasasakupan, at isang salita na kay hirap maintindihan. Sa daming definisyon na aking naririnig at nababasa, ano nga ba ang tama? Takbo doon, takbo dito. Nasaan ang aking kalaro? Bakit tila walang nakikita? Nasaan na? Nasaan nasaan na ang mga ingit talakhak na aking naririnig sa mga bata? Bakit tila'y walang may naiwan? Nasaan na? Ito ba talaga ang globalisasyon? Bakit di ko marintana sa aking isipan? Bakit tila'y ganun na lamang kadali kalimutan ang sarili atin? Ang sariling kultura natin. Ngunit sa aking pagtanto, ito'y aking nakita at mas naunawaan na ang globalisasyon ay hindi lamang binubuo ng 12 letra o isang salita, ngunit ito'y binubuo ng milyong-milyong taong nagkakaisa, nagtutulungan at nag-uunawaan mula sa damit na ating sinusuot, pagkain na ating kinakain, musika na ating pinakikinggan, hanggang sa mundo na ating ginagalawan. Hindi natin maipagkakaila na ang globalisasyon ay isang parte ng ating buhay na kung saan mula sa simula hanggang dulo nito.
All right. Now you may proceed to Google Sheets and list down the effects of globalization. It could also be based, of course, on the video. So please list the advantage and disadvantages. So the link is already posted here and also in our chat box. So you have a minute to prepare, and later a representative from your group will present your answers. Okay? And we will use this rubric. So we have the following criteria: organization, content, style, for a total of 30 points. Now let me present the Google Sheet. Okay, so group 1 is already starting. So let me check the group 2 if they are starting to list down the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, group 2 is also have their first entry. All right. So keep going, group 1 and group 2. Okay, there's another entry from group 1. Okay, I think group 2 is done. So we will proceed first with group 2's presentation. Group 2?
Um, So, based on our presentation and based on the video that we watched a while ago, in conclusion, with the disadvantages and advantages of globalization brought to us based on the poetry, it is quietly noticeable or evident that it brings lots of disadvantages like stealing our identity as a Filipino citizen, adopting different cultures, yet it helps us to communicate to all people from all walks of life,
Mhm.
and through economical, cultural, political, and such. To continue,
All
it
right.
seems to me that not everyone reacts the same and there's no universal fix. I
Mhm.
might conceive it as an advantage, others may don't or may not, but regardless of such things, it helps us to be productive in many ways. And like learning new trades through the emergence of technologies. I think the nation state can help to minimize the negative effects or detrimentals of globalization by encouraging us to be productive simultaneously or at the same time preserving our own culture or way of life, to create our own blueprint as a Filipino citizen, and also to conceive us to create a conscious effort in doing such.
Okay, very good. Very well
That's
said.
all, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Jamie. But how about you? On your own simple way, what can you do as a student in minimizing negative effects of globalization?
Um, as a citizen in today's generation, I can say that globalization helps me a lot in learning or expanding my own horizons by communicating to different people from across the globe and communicating them and learning such new traits in order to adopt or to apply in everyday living.
Okay. Um, of course, we are in the pandemic. Do you think there's an effect, or do you think COVID-19 has an effect on globalization?
Some may not, but Actually, there's a hidden blessing in disguise that COVID-19 has brought us. Because COVID-19 helps us to conserve the environment and human discipline as well
Mhm.
by obeying safety health protocols and also opportunities for small business to grow. And for some people, they are engaging with philanthropic acts or acts of helping people, which is good. And unity is currently established.
Okay, and how do you view globalization after COVID-19?
After COVID-19, I feel like people will apply the lessons that we learn from COVID-19, like being a disciplinary human being or being conciliatory or
Mhm.
good natured. Because I feel like as a human being, we have lots of mistakes in life. And, as an individual, I know that COVID-19 is a blessing in disguise since it teaches us to unite, to help other people, not only for our own means or for such reasons, but to kill us one.
Okay, thank you very much, Jamie. Very good. Let's hear now from Group 1.
Okay, ma'am. Here's our presentation. Effects of globalization. The advantages are permitting free flow of goods by removing or reducing trade barriers between the countries. Next one is globalization attracts entry of foreign capital along with foreign updated technology, which improves the quality of production. The disadvantage are globalization usually results greater increase in imports than increase in export, leading to growing trade deficit and balance of payments
Mhm.
problems. Some developing countries have resulted more loss of jobs than they have created, le- leading to fall in employment growth rates. And lastly is increases problems in our environment.
Okay, so what do you think nation states can do in minimizing negative effects of globalization?
Um, I think nation state can minimize the negative effects of globalization. Just like Japan experiencing right now by the sovereignty that they have, they manage big companies, product qualities, and proper and right way of governing. By this kind of way, maybe other nation states can no longer experience disadvantage that keep experiencing right now.
Okay, same question. How about you in your own simple way? What can you do as a student in minimizing also the negative effects of globalization?
For me, ma'am, just simply focus more on patronizing local products,
Mhm.
especially is to support farmers. And one bright idea that I know is to have the mindset of recycling old products to
Okay,
into a new one.
all right. Uh, Now that we are in the pandemic, what do you think is the effect of COVID-19 on globalization?
Nowadays, a lot of people right now are being worried about how life will work. There are adoptions, some of breakdowns, particularly to companies that export products to other
Mhm.
countries and add burdens to growth to different countries too.
Okay, and then how do you view globalization after this pandemic?
I think modern products and technology right now is keep growing and really have a good effect to us people, especially to us students in terms of education.
Okay, thank you very much. Very good, Noel. Very good, Jamie. So, globalization did a lot of changes to our economy, to our society, and to the politics, and also our culture. So, let's have some reflection to ourselves if we are eaten by this globalization, or are we still holding on to our own way of life? So now let's take a look at our preferences by going to Slido app or clicking this link. Okay, so I already posted it in our chat box. So I'm going to share our Slido. So make sure you enter the right code. So preference on on a fast food restaurant. So we have McDonald's, Jollibee, Chowking, KFC. So Which fast food restaurant do you prefer? Ayun. So at this moment, we have out of seven who answered, 86% answered Jollibee. Okay, it's changing, still changing. 88% for Jollibee, 50% for McDonald's. On third place is Choking, 25%, 38%. And then KFC, 25%. Okay, so let's take a look at the second preference. Okay, preference on smartphones. We have Nokia, Samsung, Vivo, Cherry Mobile, My Phone. Wow. Did you see that? Okay, iPhone 70% out of 10 people here. Okay, 70%. Samsung 60 on the third place, Vivo, Nokia 10%, Cherry Mobile 10%, my phone oh 0. Okay, and for the last one, preference on TV series. Okay, we have Pinoy teleserye, we have K-drama. Did you see that? 71% K-drama, 43% English TV series. Oh, it's changing. Oh, we have a tie. 60% Pinoy teleserye and K-drama, and then 30% for English TV series. Okay, did you see that? All right, thank you very much. So for number one, everybody likes Jollibee, and it seems we can't take away that from our food preferences. I also love Jollibee since birth. And for the smartphones, the responses are, is it divided? But they you preferred iPhone the most, right? So I think making a choice here is very personal. And for TV series, we have a tie, right? Between Pinoy teleserye and K-drama. But on the first answers, um, many of you inclined to K-dramas, right? So, oh well, I am talking to millennials, but I am a millennial too, so I think I am missing half of my life here. Okay. So, but still, um, some of you didn't forget to choose local products, right? So some of you answered Jollibee, Cherry Mobile, and Pinoy Teleserye. And the love for our country is still there. So this is what we call Glocal. So have you heard of that? The word Glocal. Do you have any idea what Glocal means?
Yes, ma'am. Can I
Ah,
answer
yes,
that?
Jubel.
So the term global is coined from the terms global and local, which
Mhm.
suggests that we should think globally, but we should still live locally. Meaning, getting into globalization doesn't mean you are turning your back to your own culture and products.
Mm.
We should just go with the flow as we always compete with the world if we want progress and develop. But we should also preserve what we have in our own, enrich them and introduce them also globally, like Jollibee that also has many franchises in different parts of the globe.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. Very well said, Joel. So I hope you got all the concepts, especially the nation states, in guiding us towards globalization through the imposed policies to us and the value of still patronizing our products and helping our country in raising our products and services globally. Okay. Um, so let's now give a summarized view of the topic globalization by making a mind map at MindMeister app. So go to that link and make a just a simple mind map out of the word globalization. Okay, so I will just share our MindMeister app. All right. So we have globalization there. So you can connect some words, okay, that we can relate it. to what we have discussed today. Maybe I think there, right? So we have also another branch here, nation state branch. And then with the word nation, it also branches out to people, culture, beliefs. Same with the state, it has people. So let's just compress it on the screen there. All right. Okay. So can someone make a quick summary of the topic based on the mind map that the class made?
Ma'am, can I answer?
Okay, yes, Jamie.
Based on the map map mind mapping, I can say that since we're now in COVID-19 pandemic, during pandemic, COVID-19 brought us a lot of things. It can be shortcomings or dilemma. I think globalization affects the nation state by influencing economical, cultural, technological, and also political that brings innovation to us toward productive ends.
Okay, very good. Very well said. And before we end, of course, let's have a quiz. Now go to the link posted on your screen. So let's start. Okay, the popularity of K-pop dancers and singers. Actually, the question here is it cultural globalization, economic globalization, or political globalization? Okay, cultural, economics, or political? Okay, time's up. Let's see who is leading. Okay, it's Chobel. Next question. So for the number one, the answer is cultural. Okay, number two, a seemingly unfair trade between developed and developing countries. Okay, 10, 9, all done. Okay, so what's the answer for number two?
Um,
Joshua?
Economics.
Yes, economics, that's right. Okay, next question. Regular sports competitions such as Olympic and ASEAN Games. Is it cultural, economical, or political? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yun, nakahabol. Time's up. And what's the answer for this?
Ma'am,
Yes, Noel.
it's cultural, ma'am.
Cultural.
Cultural.
Thank you. Okay, that's correct. So Jubel's still on the lead. Next question. Okay, an arbitrary dialogue between conflicting country on the South China Sea. Okay, one student left there. Okay, all done. And the answer for that is
Economics po.
yes, Charlene.
Political po.
Okay, political. Okay, thank you. And I saw Nova on the lead. And I think this is the last question. Okay, existence of International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. 12, 11, 10, 9, 5 students left. All right. Go, 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 go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, time's up. Okay, so what's the answer for this number?
Economics po.
Yes, Mary Joy. Okay, that's economics or economical. Okay, and I saw Jobel on the lead. So Jubel, Nova, sorry, second, Noel, and Nova is the third one. Okay, so that's it. Congratulations for having high scores. So almost all of you got it perfectly. Also, you all got 30 points on your presentations a while ago in our activities. Okay, again, thank you and congratulations. You all did a great job today. Do you still have any questions?
None
Questions,
po.
None po.
clarifications?
None. None
Okay,
po.
so if there are no questions, thank you very much, and I'll see you in our next meeting and prepare for a summative test. Thank you, grade 12. Bye.
Thank you
Thank you,
po.
ma'am.
Bye po.
Thank
Bye po.
you.